All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise to our apostle elders, to the apostle elders, a great millstone, and you brothers out there that's diligently doing the work and maintaining that faith and then waiting, man. We're in a time of great things happening. 2018, the year of prophecy. Things are taking place that are, if you watch the news, you can see it left and right. We're in a time of, turn this down. But it's just a news update on because I was watching a news clip and let me get to it. And they said something in the clip and the scripture popped out. I mean, you can see from the title, Joel 3:10, you can see that, look, man, the Most High is allowing them to even speak prophecy, even if they're trying to do it or not trying to do it. Either way, they're putting it out there that the end time is being revealed, man. All right, so I'm gonna play this quick clip real quick, and I'll try to play it back.
To advance global interest.
Chinese security agencies have masterminded the wholesale theft of American technology, including cutting-edge military blueprints. And using that stolen technology, the Chinese Communist Party is turning plowshares into swords.
See that?
On a massive scale. The Chinese Communist Party is turning plowshares into swords on a massive scale. The Chinese Communist Party is turning plowshares into swords on a massive scale.
Now we got to pull it. Now we got to pull it. Because the Lord is allowing them to say these things, man. Let me get the whole chapter. 1 second. It's Joel 3:10. When he said it, I was like, oh man, they're putting it right out there in your face. It's Joel 3:10. I'll start up a few verses. And it says 7. Joel 3:7, it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. And that's what you see, because in the South China Sea, they just had a interview with CNN where CNN flew over China Sea. They do it every year, a couple times a year, but they were warning them to get away from the South China Sea. And they built like multiple sand dunes, islands with, I think the last count was like 200 and odd some boats they already got sitting there. So they said they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So these are the things, the times of preparing war, because now they're investing into war type games and war type material. And it says, beat your plowshares into verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what you see now, man. Because at one time, China was agricultural type of place. They weren't dealing with weapons like that. But now you see what's happening now. They're investing heavy money into that having that military might. See? Let's play it again.
The Chinese Communist Party is turning plowshares into swords on a massive scale.
See? Because the weapons are being put out here by these Moabites, man. What you call the Chinese today. They're also saying they were stealing blueprints to weapons and high-tech weaponry. That's showing you all this technology is being put out here for that war, because they're going to go against each other, man, and these things are going to be used. Let's play the rest, play a little bit more of it.
U.S. media is reporting that includes inserting microchips into servers used by Apple and Amazon.
That's it on that. But that's wild, man. Let me get this real quick, because the Lord is making them say it. That wasn't a coincidence. This is the book of Jeremiah 10 and verse 23. And it says, O Lord, I know it's that the way of man is not in himself, it is not in man that walketh to direct his steps, because the Lord is the ones that move in these men in these situations to fulfill prophecy. That's why we're just the news anchors, man. We're just out here to publicize the news that's being done. And you see it on a massive scale with the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the weathers. It's everything is building up to that moment, man. And it says, "Oh Lord, I know that I know that the man that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. O Lord, correct me, but with judgment, not in thine anger, lest thou bring me to nothing." And that's the way that's directing Esau towards that end goal, man. A couple of these precepts. This is Proverbs 16:1. And it says, "The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord." That's what you see happening right now, man. That was the answer to show you in that time of Joel, man. Joel 3:10 is been speaking, but for them to say that in 2018, that's showing you this thing is heating up. The confrontation is around the corner. All right, let me. I got another. Make sure this. You go ahead and get this. I got this other article. It's an RFID chip update, and it says this was publicized on September 21st. It's been a minute, but the point is here. This is why you're probably getting a microchip implant someday. It says when Patrick Mullen had first heard in 2017 that thousands of Swedish citizens were unlocking their car doors and turning their coffee machines with a wave of his palm, he was not impressed. Sure, the technology millimeter long chip equals to the near field communication capabilities, because that's what they use in London. And lodged just under the skin had a niche cutting edge appeal, but the practical terms of fob is passcode would work just as well. And it says Mullion, a 20-year veteran of the tech industry, wanted to do one more better and find a use for the implant microchip that was genuinely functional, not just abstract nifty. In July 2017, news cameras watched as more than 50 employees at 3 Square Market, and you've seen that before when we covered it before, man. But they're saying that look, that everybody's going to get this chip. This chip is being publicized more and more to show the appeal of it. And then you've seen this artist or this rap guy, I forget his name, but he got chipped also. He's trying to make it a hip thing now. Let me look at this. It should come right up. Yeah, this guy right here. And Brothers has already done videos on it. But this guy that's getting a chip, man, is showing you that they're trying to appeal to the masses and show that, look, man, this is the new hip thing. But that's going to be to their downfall, because if you receive that chip, this dude's done, man. If he wasn't done before, he's done now. The lifestyle is set. You can tell a tree by its fruit. So the lifestyle that he was pushing out there and that vibration has now sealed him to be destroyed, man. Okay? He's going to be destroyed, and the brothers will went into it. You know, the precepts is going to link right into it, because if you take that mark, you're good as done. And it says, that's it on that. Let me jump into it. This is another article that was posted on, see if I can find the date, September 19th. It says Japanese weigh benefits as well as health and security risks of embedding microchips, because now the other nations are drinking of Esau's cauldron, his brew, and now they're jumping into it too, because this chip is going to be a worldwide currency. It's going to be a financial currency to be able to use among the world. And it says the sign of a future is in which humans merge with machines are appearing in Japan as people start to implant microchips in their bodies. But set against considerations of convincing are questions over potential medical law violations, health concern, and security risks. Although integrated clinic circuit chips are being welcomed by some people who seem to seen them being used from everything to electronic payments to unlocking smartphones, so they can be used as money. We've already shown that and proven that, so it's going to be used as money. It's more than all these other things are extra. It's going to be the currency. That's what it's looking to be. It's about that currency. That's why it says no man can buy or sell. It has to be has that currency niche to it. And it says the long-term effects of embedding them in the human body are not yet well understood. At the information technology company in Central Okasa called Otofu Labs Inc., President Takashi Hamachi, 39, waves his hand across a sensor on a door. A light flashes green and it clicks open. And that's the guy right here. That's what you see, man. So they already got it over there. Look how it's all built in. They got it looking all functional. So it's here, man. Okay, they already got accessories for the chip, and it says it is really convincing since I didn't need my key. Said Hamachi with a smile, explaining that he had the short-range wireless communication device implanted under the skin between his thumb and the forefinger in February. The cylindrical chip, which is about the size of a grain of rice, is sold by an overseas company, said. People at some companies in the United States, which is 3 Square Market, implanted microchips in their hands and are using them to shop and use company machines in Sweden. And they are being placed in train tickets in some seasons or enters a secure building. So it's being marketed, man, and pushed more out there. Because Esau's putting this out here to the world, man. He's putting that cup. Let me see this. This is Revelations 18:3. And it says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornications, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And that's going into that chip, because they're going to go there into that trade. They're into those false balances, that Ponzi scheme. What is it called? The financial market is a Ponzi scheme. Many analysts have said it. And it says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through their abundance and delicacy, because that's that financial trade, man. So when that chip comes into play, there's going to be other nations that's going to link in onto that. More precepts, and I'm going to close on out. I just, thought these updates would brothers needed to see, man. Because it's right around the corner. We were told of these things. That's how you know this is the truth we're dealing with. Because other groups try to naysay and say it's not this and say it's not that, but it's the new way. This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's those philosophies and the madness that America pushes through the earth, man. By way of, and now this chip is that new thing, because they said, oh, a company in the United States did it. They didn't say any, they said, oh, other places, but they had to mention the U.S., man. Okay, it's like a trend setting. All right, so Alvarado, this was edified, man. I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Karkwadash. Lord willing, this is edifying, and we coming to the times, man. So just keep faith and keep watch. Shalom, Makim, Shalom.